programming that you can access 24/7. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And for the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. And that's just a sampling. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. For laptops, mobile phones, and tablets, download the Roku app. National Streaming Sports, live and on demand, sports talk for America.
This show is brought to you by BetUS.com. 125% off your first 3 deposits, 30 years experience, secure site, wagering for all sports, including during the games and futures. SeatGeek provides you the best prices on sports and music events, game tickets, and concerts. Use NSS promo code to get $20 off your first ticket. Keep using the NSS promo code when purchasing tickets for great deals in the future. In Fanatics at nessp.info for your favorite teams, sportswear. Click on the link, and while you're there, check out our national streaming sports merchandise. The Big Football Show every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Roku at 4 p.m. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Big Football Show. I'm your host, Mac, with your co-host, the J-Train, James Martin, Jack Hirsch. He's our historian. You know, Chi-Chi knows a lot about football. And we also have in live from his cruise. He's letting us come on board with him right now, the Reverend himself. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone out there. And a real quick update before we get into the NFL. The Yankees lose again to the Dodgers as they head home, down 2-0 with Ohtani out with a shoulder injury. Probably he's having to check today. I would think he would at least miss game 3. So before we start going here and get everything right, we're going to give you a little NFL news, and we'll give you the injury report right after that, and we'll get to Keith. So here we go.
Now it's time for NFL news on the Big Football Show. Hi, everyone. November 5th is the NFL trade deadline. Buyers, teams that are in the playoff hunt, need a couple pieces to become Super Bowl contenders. Green Bay, 49ers, Tampa Bay, Dallas, Steelers, Chargers, Eagles, Atlanta, and Seahawks. Sellers, Panthers, Patriots, Giants, Titans, Browns, and the Raiders. Bengals have the 5th ranked passing offense. The Eagles rush the ball 81 times for 192.5 yards per game. Derrick Henry, the NFL's leading rusher, versus a Browns defense that has not allowed a running back to gain more than 67 yards. Browns start Jamison Winston at quarterback. Lions wide receiver Amon St. Brown is 11 yards away from reaching 4,000 yards in first 4 seasons, joining Calvin Johnson as only Lions player to reach that mark. Tua returns as Dolphins quarterback versus the Cardinals. The Jets haven't swept the Pats since 2000. Drake May becomes the first rookie quarterback with at least 2 touchdowns and 240 yards passing in his first 3 starts since 1950. That's your news.
News and a quick injury report for you. It's not as long as normal. Atlanta's offensive lineman Matthew Bergeron, Buffalo's wide receiver Curtis Samuel, Cincinnati safeties Geno Stone, Cleveland quarterback, of course, Deshaun Watson out for the year, Indianapolis linebacker Jalen Corliss, Juju Schuster, Aidan O'Connell from the Raiders, Miami's Tyron Huntley, linebacker Ty Swimmers from the Giants, Micah Becton from Philadelphia, the offensive tackle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo are both out, and we know about Godwin and Evans. Washington, of course, Shaden Daniels has an injury to his ribs. He's game time decision. I would imagine, guys, he's going if he can, as the Commanders again lead the NFC East for their in standings anyway. So,
Mac, you might want to add me to injury report. My liver is tweaked just a little bit from the last 2 days.
It is. Well, I've seen the pictures, Keith, and I can see why. I understand why. So, yeah, a little bite of the hair of the dog in the morning always works for me, Keith. So anyway,
might be something in my coffee.
There you go. There you go. A good Irish coffee helps you out early in the morning. Anyway, so. Let's get into the Patriots real quick before we get into college, Keith. You're going up against the Jets. The Jets have never swept let's say never. Haven't swept the Patriots since 2000, I think. It is something ridiculous like that. They're going against Aaron Rodgers, of course, who's been having some problems. They score the first half, the Jets. They kind of don't score in the second half. The Patriots are just the opposite. Drake May's been having some big second halves. You think they got a chance?
The problem those big second halves are they're way behind when they happen. So the Patriots have a chance. And there are a lot of win bowl games left on the schedule. The way the Jets are playing right now, if they're going to get one, this might be the place to get it. I'm not expecting it. But anything can happen. We see the Jets with the drama going around the Jets. Devontae Adams isn't even there, 15 minutes, and he's talking about how bad the culture is on the team. This is not a good sign for the Jets. Look, you hear I'm going on a limb. I'll pick my Patriots today to win this game in a big upset. Not going to be one of my picks, though.
Okay, not an official pick, Jack.
Not one of my official picks.
Jack will bet against his Jets when he thinks it's good for his picks, but he does bet with it too when he's right. So, Jack isn't afraid to bet his team one way or the other, Pete.
I will never bet against my team ever. Right. I might make a pick saying they might lose, but you'll never see me. Never.
All right.
Well, you can't lose then in a certain sense. I was out in Las Vegas once, and the Jets were playing the Patriots, okay? And I bet on the Patriots, that game, hoping I kind of be wrong and maybe lose my money. And I forgot. I think it was like a push or something. So I lost the game and didn't win any money either. So it never works out.
Well, I'm guessing a lot of Jet fans have bet on the Patriots over the last 14 years.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's get into the college games for this week. Keith, and of course I had James ready too. So James, if you got something to add, go right ahead. Let's see. Boise State beats UNLV 29-24. Running back Anthony Denny, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. Maddox, am I saying it right? Madison? I hope I'm saying it right. The quarterback with a touchdown. Listen, a great game to start off the college week, Keith.
UNLV was, one of the popular picks to compete for the Group of Five bid to the playoff, and we know what happened with their quarterback. I personally think the quarterback that's playing now is better than the kid who left, and all the uproar was about. Vegas is a good team. This game was in Vegas. This is another nice win for Boise State, who continues, not by a lot, but continues to lead the way in that eventual Group of Five pick. And Navy, and by the way, Navy doesn't get hurt. You may get into this, but Navy doesn't get hurt by their loss to Notre Dame yesterday as far as a playoff spot because it's irrelevant. It's not a league game and really doesn't hurt them a lot. They're getting a lot larger bid anyway, so it really doesn't hurt them at all.
Well, it does hurt them because they got their butts stomped by Notre Dame, showing that even if they get in the playoffs and they're playing a quality team, a big top 10 team, that they're not ready yet. Not that I'm saying anything bad about it. I love the military schools. You know that.
Yeah.
Riley Leonard, 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown run. To my love, again with a big game, 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Navy's running back, Kendron, ran pretty well for them. I mean, I think he ran over 100 yards and got a touchdown. So, yeah. But listen, Notre Dame's defense is playing really, really well right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're playing really good ball, and they're finally, again, I said this after the loss to Northern Illinois, that they were not using Riley Leonard the way Riley Leonard should be used, and they are now because he's a threat to throw the ball and run the ball, and you never know what they're going to do. That's what he's there for, right? That's the prize element. Bigger game yesterday, in my mind, for Notre Dame than Navy, based on what I was saying before. Notre Dame needs to continue to get some style points here because other than Texas A&M helping them, that win looks better and better as A&M plays better. You know, Northern Illinois, yes, have lost. They're plummeting, and that loss puts worse and worse. So they're going to need some help potentially. This really helps them a lot. Navy again. And again, Mac, I wasn't saying they were going to go there and win. I mean, strictly to get to the playoff. This game really didn't affect Navy even a little bit.
You know, James,
it's the conference that matters.
Notre Dame and Navy have a rich history. I mean, at one time, they played for each other. Navy went and actually let Notre Dame play, vice versa. They used Notre Dame's field during the wars. And to me, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, James. I think, listen, with that history, you guys are like really close still. I'm not running the score up against you. I don't give a damn what the college experts said. 51 to 14. After the end of the first half, when I'm very much on top, I'm not going to do that to them guys. That wouldn't be me. I wouldn't do it, James.
I mean, getting a high score used to be a benefit for you when there was no playoffs. You had to get style points. So I kind of agree with you in the sense you don't have to run the score up, especially if you have that type of history. But at the same time, like Keith said, that one loss they had, they got to look like they're dominant in order to be able to make a push for the playoffs. I mean, they ran for 265 yards totally as a team collectively and 4 TDs. That was just pretty impressive by Notre Dame.
Yeah. And I would normally agree with you, Mac. I don't care about running up scores. I really don't, except against the military academies. I don't agree with it. I don't think Notre Dame really tried to rub it in their faces yesterday. I think they did what they felt they needed to do. Plus, this Navy team, by the way, is pretty explosive, so they're not really out of games when you think about it. They got one of the highest number of plays over 40 yards in the country this year. So, again, were they going to come back in that game? Most likely not. But I don't think Notre Dame was really trying to kind of rub it in them. I think they just did what they need to do.
Yeah. All right. Ole Miss 26, Oklahoma 14. Quarterback Jason Bart. I think I'm saying his name right again. 31-yard touchdown. Henry Parrish, the quarterback, 1 touchdown. Running back. I mean, listen, Ole Miss took care of business against Oklahoma, and Oklahoma just doesn't look that good to me this year, Keith.
No, Jackson Dart is the quarterback you're talking about. Looked very good after a couple of not so good games. Mississippi, Ole Miss kind of took themselves out of the playoff conversation here with a couple of losses early. Oklahoma won their first 4, but they were not impressive victories against lesser opponents. And I thought 7-5, 8-4 was their ceiling this year, and that's starting to look like what it'll be at best. They've lost 3 in a row now, I believe. not a team that is, the offense is not that good, and Venable might start feeling some heat in Oklahoma. This is 3 years and 3 pretty disappointing years. He had better than 6-6 talent last year. The talent's worse this year.
Yes. All right. Indiana 31, Washington 17. Indiana running back Justice Ellison, 123 yards, a touchdown. Kyrene Jackson, a rushing touchdown. And a pass touchdown. Listen, again, Indiana looks really good this year so far.
Indiana's likely to get into the Ohio State game undefeated, which would be very interesting. And it also kind of brings up an interesting dynamic, which we don't have to dive into a lot here today, and I'm going to talk about it on my show. Indiana may be better off not getting, if they lose to Ohio State, let's say, they'd still be in play for the conference championship game. They may be better off not getting in the conference championship game and losing that last game of the season as far as their playoff hopes go. Which is kind of a weird dynamic, right? And one of the things that the playoff has brought about. But Indiana's playing great football. Signetti, their new coach, did great things at James Madison, did great things before that. He said, all I do is win, and that's what he's doing right now.
Very true. Ohio State in a close one. They won 21-17. Quarterback Will Howard, 3 TDs with interception. Running back Donnie Dondal, I think I'm saying it right again. Dondell with a 60-yard and a 1-yard touchdown. Just a real good game. I enjoy it. I did watch part of it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of heat because I've said Nebraska's relevant again. I didn't say they were national championship worthy, but I think James went on the show tonight that I was getting beat up pretty good. I didn't say they were going to compete for the Big Ten championship. I said they're relevant again, and they are. And Matt Rule's got that team on the right path. I love the freshman quarterback. The end of this game was kind of chaotic with some penalties and Brian Day just going nuts on the sideline. I thought they should have got another unsportsmanlike there and maybe given Nebraska another shot near the end of that game. But not a bad loss for Nebraska, I don't think, in that position. And Ohio State still has some things to work out, I think, before they get to the really big games here coming up. They got Penn State yet, they got Indiana yet, and then obviously potentially they got Michigan. Obviously, I didn't want to forget Michigan. But Ohio State, I still think there's some things to work out.
Yeah, particularly that offensive line, because Nebraska's line, they got so much pressure on them, man.
Yeah, that's been one of the strengths of Nebraska all year is their interior line, and you haven't seen it the last couple of weeks, but now you saw it yesterday again a little bit. Yeah.
Oregon absolutely shellacks Illinois. Was number 20 in the country. Quarterback Dylan Gabriel with 3 touchdowns and a touchdown run. Noah Washington with a touchdown. Let's talk a little bit about Tez Johnson. 102 yards, touchdown. I mean, what do you guys think? Is he a future star? I know he's really young. He made some big catches, big plays.
I haven't seen him play a lot. I like to see him play more. Sometimes with these young kids, you don't know because when they don't know them and they don't have the number one backs defending, and sometimes they fool you and think they look better than they are. He looks like he's got some talent and will be a top flight player, but you just never know. But it's fun to watch guys like that, break out.
You agree with that, James?
Yeah, I mean, 102 yards, 1 TD. It's just once he gets more exposure, I think you can continue to see more of the talent there. But I was more interested in seeing the kid Dylan Gabriel. He's getting close to Case Keenum's all-time record at NCAA.
Second, he's second now. Touchdowns.
I didn't know Casey Keenum went to Oregon.
Casey Kasem, yeah, he was in Oregon.
Top 40?
James is not sure what the hell he was talking about, probably.
Yeah, James like, what are you talking about? Casey's top 40.
Where did Case Keith go to school? I can't remember now. Where was he? Was he at Houston?
I'm not sure. Either that or
Houston. I think so.
I feel like he was at Houston. Yeah.
BYU in another nice game, 137-24. Yeah, Jake Retzlaff with 228 yards. Running back L.J. Martin with 101 yards. Russian. I mean, BYU is still it's with 11. It sure didn't hurt them any in a good game against UCF.
On the road, UCF's a good football program. They're a little disappointing this year. They've had some trouble. I thought, especially KJ Jefferson transferring from Arkansas was going to really thrive in Gus Malzahn's offense, and that didn't turn out to be the case. So I thought they might be one of the surprises in the Big 12. They have not been good, but it's a good road win still for BYU after coming in out of that shootout with Oklahoma State last week. So another nice win for BYU. Again, picked to finish last by a lot of people in the Big 12, and they're winning the table so far.
Wow. Yes. You got Texas 27, Vandy 24, Vanderbilt. Listen, quarterback Ewers, 28 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The Vandy quarterback threw for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Very good game. I thought Vanderbilt might pull out the upset here this week against Texas.
Wouldn't have been the first one this year, and Vanderbilt ranked for the first time since I can remember coming into this game. That happens about once every 25 years, I think. You got to give Vanderbilt credit. They played tough at home against some really quality opponents.
Yeah.
Texas has kind of been that little teams hit these little lulls, right? And I think they're in it. I think Cam Ewers bounced back a little bit yesterday. The interceptions are a little concerning, but I think all things considered, Texas is happy to get out of there with a win and continue to try to right the ship.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that right now, Rick. Let's see. So we're in the Colorado watch. We've been doing this, and of course Keith Engel and Jack Hirsch have said they'd win 1 and 2 games for the year. Keeps getting lower and lower.
No, you keep bringing my number down every week.
And Colorado does it again. They're at, what are they? They're first in their conference right now.
I will shut up about this. Yes.
Listen, listen. Their offensive line is playing very well, and the running game seems to be coming. Their defensive line is playing pretty well. I don't know. Colorado at least has a bowl bid, first time in years, and who knows? Maybe they climb into the top 25.
Look, I said he had to start winning games. He started winning games. I said 5-7. I really thought that. They're playing better football. We're going to see because they haven't played any of the top teams necessarily, right? BYU we wouldn't thought would be top. But look, he's playing. He's winning games, and right now I'm wrong. I mean, if they lose out, then I'm closer to being right than I was before. But Deion they have improved, and they've gotten better, I think, as this season has gone on. They've gotten better as well. So, good for them. I don't hate, Coach Prime. I don't hate him at all. I just didn't think this was a good football team. And I was wrong.
Yes, listen, that's, we always say it doesn't matter if you lose in the beginning of the year in college football as much as how you finish out, right? You can get them little losers in the beginning, James. And then,
right.
As you're supposed to improve during the year if you're a good team, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they made some big improvements offensively, particularly with the offensive line. I mean, because last year Shedeur was just getting attacked at will. So because there was just such a porous offensive line, but now they look a lot better. Again, and they're probably not playing the quality of players that they were playing again. With the big shakeup in regards to the conferences, you're playing some cupcakes teams as well, but we'll see how well they do when it comes down to the meat of their schedule coming up. Much more quality.
The Big 12 is crazy. I mean, the top 4-5 teams we thought would challenge here are not challenging. Utah, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Kansas State's only got 1 loss in conference, but they're not out of it. But not where we thought we'd be. We wouldn't think we'd be looking at Colorado and BYU potentially in the conference championship game. And right now we're staring down the barrel of that.
What about Iowa State, though?
Iowa State's still there too. They're number 9 team in the country. I left them out.
No.
Again, I still need to see more out of. I need to see something more out of them against the quality opponent too. That's the problem with that league. I said before the season, the quality, you're nowhere near SEC and Big Ten quality, but I said you see a lot of fun football out there. You're seeing it, I think. You never know what's going to happen from week to week.
So Miami keeps playing a soft schedule as they beat Florida 36-14. Cameron Ward, 208 yards passing, running. Mark Fletcher. I mean, there's a couple running backs score a couple touchdowns. Is Miami going to play a real good team this year, Keith, at all? Or are we going to wait?
And Clemson in the ACC championship game, they'll play a good team. That's when they'll play a good team, and they'll probably lose to them.
Okay.
Because they don't have a good record in the last 15 years against Clemson. So I've said for weeks, this is the team that looks like they're searching for a loss. Last night they didn't. They played pretty well from the outset, but the defense played good last night, but this team is not a good offensive football team that they played. They should not lose a game in a regular season. I can't see them losing their regular season. But right now they're on a collision course with Clemson, although Pittsburgh's playing really good as well in the ACC. But that's going to be the telltale sign. And it's going to be interesting whether the ACC gets two teams in, because if somebody does lose, like if Miami loses in the regular season somewhere, they might have Pitt on the schedule. I can't remember. They got Syracuse at the end of the season, who didn't play well this year, but it's up in the Imperial Dome, so that who knows. And then they lose a conference championship game. You may see only one team go for the ACC. It's possible.
Okay. All right. Penn State beats Wisconsin 28-13. Probably more importantly is the knee injury to their quarterback, Drew Aller, going forward. I mean, the guy that filled in played pretty well, but as your starting quarterback, and now you start coming up against the Michigans and the Ohio States, and that may affect them a lot.
Yeah, well, they don't get Michigan this year, which is probably unfortunate. They probably could have beat Michigan for once this year, but they do get Ohio State here in a few weeks. I don't think it's next week, but in a few weeks. Going up to Camp Randall's not a bad win. Just when you lose your quarterback, they won go pretty handily by the time the game finished. As people know, I'm not the biggest James Franklin fan in the world. He's got to beat a top 10 team. And maybe I'll start getting excited about this team. But Alar is a big loss for this team because he was playing much better this year, getting the ball downfield and that makes that offense a lot better when you can stretch the field a little bit. So still a team in question for me too. Them and Iowa State and Miami, I guess, the biggest questions in the top 10 for me.
Mr. Redface really loses, and I am so happy. I'm sorry, James. LSU is your team. Jim Kelly gets beat as Texas A&M puts it on them, and Texas A&M is a real good team. They had that early loss, but they're a really good team. LSU gets their second loss. That's going to affect them, I would imagine, in the rankings, and hopefully it doesn't affect them come playoff time.
Texas A&M is playing some great football. College Station, another tough place to go play. I like the Texas A&M in this game. LSU looked good early, but A&M, after changing quarterbacks, really came back late in the game, and they're playing as good as anybody in the SEC right now. I mean, as big as that Georgia win is over Texas, I'm not convinced Georgia on any given Sunday couldn't go out and lose to Texas A&M, for instance. Ole Miss. So I think there's still more surprises to come in the SEC, and who knows? Who's to say Texas A&M isn't left standing as the number one team in that conference come conference championship? So it's possible.
They got a real good coach, James, and their team rallies.
Good coach.
I mean, listen, I think Texas A&M could be a dark horse. Maybe they play for the championship.
They are a dark horse. I mean, that coach had an ace in his sleeve, and he pulled it out when he brought in Marcus Reed. And not only that, the defense stepped up and got 3 interceptions out of Nussmeier. So that's just in the second half. They just made adjustments because they understood that Nussmeier, if you can get extra pressure on him and throw a few other like DBs coming in and pressure him, he gets rattled. And again, he threw 3 interceptions, and that was the changing point of the game, along with the quarterback.
Yeah, I haven't been honestly. I haven't been impressed with Nussmeier. I don't think he's a professional quarterback. I think he's a college quarterback. I don't think he's one of the top quarterbacks.
This is not a good quarterback class for sure. That's this year, one of the weakest in a while.
Yeah.
So Kansas State sneaks by Kansas, a rivalry, 29-27, just a great game. And if anybody watched, I watched part of it. It was just a real good game.
Kansas is one of the bigger disappointments in Big 12 this year. Lance Leipold done a great job there, and they were picked. A lot of teams thought people felt they'd win this conference this year, and they've been one of the worst teams in the conference thus far. So K-State's battling their way back after a bad loss to BYU at home. It's still in play for the conference for sure.
Yeah,
and I need to jump here pretty quick, Mike.
Okay, well, this is the last one. SMU. Well, I'll get to your top three. SMU should not have a quarterback. They should just direct snap to the running backs, and I think they would have a better chance at winning. They won last night, 28-27, with their running game. So, Keith, right now you're in first. You're 12-7-2. Let's see what you got for your picks this week.
I've got Houston -4 over the Colts. Green Bay -4 over the Jaguars. And I have the Bears. I'm not sold on Washington and Daniels staying healthy today. I'm going to take the Bears. Three road favorites. That's really unusual for me, but I'll do it this week. There you go.
Real quick. Houston is -4.5 for what I gave out.
Okay, my bad.
You still taking them?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
All right, Keith. Thank you for coming in. The connection was good this year. Hopefully it stays that way. We'll
try the same thing next Friday. Next Friday and Sunday, we'll try the same thing. I'll still be here. So,
good for you.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Thanks a lot, Keith. So there you go, folks. Keith Angle makes it in on his cruise. From where I think he's going down to Bermuda, Jamaica, somewhere in that area. But anyway, that's your college update with Keith Angle. And since we got his picks in, let me give you Linda's picks right now. She's 10-9-2. She's got the Bills -3 at Cincinnati, Detroit -11.5 versus Tennessee, and Washington +3 at versus the Bears. I guess she's hoping Jaden Daniels does start. So, Jack, let me get your picks, please.
Yeah, I'm kind of picking against bad teams more than I'm taking good teams. Taking that strategy, so giving, basically a lot of points. I mean, I'm going to take the Ravens giving 11 against Cleveland. In any event,
9
Cleveland's really hurting. I think they've basically thrown in the towel. They're starting Jameis Winston. Maybe he gives them a spark. Maybe plays well and he creates a quarterback controversy going forward. Because who knows what Cleveland's going to do next year. Deshaun Watson is on the contract for a couple of years. Maybe they'll find a way to move on from him the way the Broncos did with Russell Wilson. We don't know, but the Deshaun Watson era in Cleveland seems to be a little over. I can't imagine them going back to him as being the starter automatically next year. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos, giving the 9 points to the Carolina Panthers. I mean, some insanity came over me last week when I took the Panthers with the points, feeling, well, they could still win a few games this year, even though they'll be in last place. They're just flat out bad. The storyline in that game is Bryce Young coming back to start. And if Bryce Young can play decent the rest of the way, it gives the Panthers a little hope. They take a little out of the season, that fan base. But Bryce Hope is the last straw for the Panther fans this year because they're not going to win many games, if any, the rest of the way. So let's see what Bryce Young does.
Jack, Denver is -10.5. Are you still going with them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
9.5. I thought it was 9 at the time he locked in these scores. I mean, Mac, you'd be a terrible banker. You tell customers you can lock in the rate.
You can. I wrote these down.
Paperwork.
I wrote these originally, but you can take it over next week if you like, Jack. You can get the spreads for us.
I'm just saying. I mean, come on.
Oh, I just offered you. If you want to take over the spreads, I'm all for it. One less thing for me to do.
I'm going to take the Lions. What is it, 11 points giving against the Titans?
11.5 points. 11.5 points.
Yeah, okay. So, and I'll take the Lions there. The Titans, they look like they might be headed competing with the Panthers for the number 1 overall draft choice. So the Titans are going to be in the market for a quarterback, in the draft. I mean, Will Levis just hasn't quite worked out. It's not that Will Levis doesn't have little potential, but, you can't wait on him. He's made so many mistakes. And Mason Rudolph is quarterbacking anyway. So let me get it straight. I got the Ravens with 9 points.
Yes.
Is it 9? The Broncos with how many?
10.5.
10.5. And the Lions, you said with 11.5?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll still stick with those. That's giving a lot of points. That's giving more than a touchdown for every game. I think that might be a record on this show as far as giving points, all 3 games more than a touchdown.
Yeah,
it's
those
a
are big
reflection on how bad the other teams are, Will they be able to play a pretty close game? That's what it comes down to. And, I have my doubts.
Yeah, listen, Bryce Young had -4 yards passing last week, and that Denver defense is out of sight.
You look at the box score, Mac. I like to look at the box scores, games that I don't get to really view. And immediately, I knew Bryce Young came into the game, and I was interested. And I look, the first thing that catches my eye is 2 for 2. I go, not bad, just filling in. That's nice. Then I look -4 yards. Like, what the heck? I can do that, flip the ball basically behind me, Come on.
You could. All right, so let's give Pags. He's not here. He's 10-1. He's taken Green Bay minus the 4 points, which is I think a lot of people took Green Bay this week at versus Jacksonville. He's got Miami with of course Tua's coming back. Miami is -4 right now. Let me get them real quick. Miami at -4 at Arizona's going to Miami. Miami's giving them 4 points. And of course, he took the Eagles getting the 2 points as the Eagles are going to Cincinnati. So we'll see if Pax comes in later or not. But
we're going to analyze all these games.
Oh,
later.
yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, we always. All right, James, why don't you give me your in second right now at 11-8-2. Let's see if you can hold on this week and not go for 3. Okay, James, come on. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling here.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I got my first pick. That's the Packers, -4. Like you said, a lot of people pick the Packers. I just think that the Packers have some interesting stats. We're looking at Xavier McKinney, the safety that came from the Giants. He's had 1 interception in the first 5 games, and I think he's due for another one. I think that their defense is really good, and I like Jordan Love. And I just think the Jags stink right now. Even though they're coming off a win, they're just not good. And then they have talent on the team, but something's amiss there. I don't know what's going on offensively. I just don't like them against this team. And I think that Jordan Love can win by 5 points, by a touchdown at least.
Okay. All right.
The Falcons. Look, the Buccaneers are without Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. That's a big loss. The rest of those guys that they're playing, I mean, we're talking this almost seems like the movie Major League. We're talking about the players that nobody knows, Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer. You got Sterling Shepard. I mean, are these guys Willie Mays or Ricky Vaughn, Pedro Serrano from that movie? I mean, it just seems to be a miss there. It's just offensively, I don't know what Baker's going to do. And they got a decent running game, but I don't know if they can keep up with the passing game of Atlanta. It's going to be a track meet. They would need those guys to be a track meet. I just think Atlanta's going to win bigger than -2.5.
Are you worried about the up and down of Kirk Cousins? I mean, 1 week 509, next week he throws a couple interceptions. You're not worried about that?
Well, then he's due then, because they were up 2 games back and they were down this game, so now he should be up.
Okay.
So I think they're going to win. And the last one, I got the Ravens. There is one thing that would scare me about this. Jameis Winston is going up against the the worst passing defense in the Ravens. They don't have a good passing secondary, but I just like, man, to control the clock, keep Jameis off the field. You got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry they're rolling right now. So I could see them winning by 8.5.
Which shows that, James, early in the season, things are so crazily out of whack. Remember when the Raiders, one of the worst teams arguably in the NFL this season, they go into Baltimore and they beat the Ravens, one of the best teams in the NFL. Sometimes things don't make sense very early in the season, but I think we've gotten to the point of the year where we have a handle on things, how a lot of these games are going to go, how these teams are trending. But early in the year, the best teams can lose to the worst teams a lot easier than they can once you hit mid-season.
And I think that's likely due to a lot of players, not like Mac has said before early on, a lot of these guys aren't playing in the preseason. So their early games are kind of like preseason games already.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to, maybe when we go over the games, you're going to see I'm a little opposite you in a couple ways. But no matter, those are Jane's 3 picks. Sonia, might be in the second half, her picks are Philadelphia +2 at Cincinnati, Kansas City -10 at Las Vegas, and she's going to take her Carolina Panthers with the 10.5 points at Denver. Definitely a homer pick there. But hey, listen, she's a fan.
Well, Denver doesn't put a lot of points on, I guess, with Bo Nix. You could use that logic if you want.
Yeah, I guess you could. So, guys, I'm at the bottom again. I mean, I'm not doing bad, but I'm definitely not doing good. As Sonia has climbed above me again. But guess what, guys? I don't care. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care. Well, I do care. Let's put it this way. I do care, but I want to make sure that you know what's going on here. So, listen. I got Atlanta -2 at Tampa Bay. I agree with James. 50% of the Tampa Bay offense is gone. So, Atlanta, just playing good defense, should be able to beat Tampa Bay today. I also got Buffalo -3 at Seattle. When does Seattle become a powerhouse? They're an okay team. Buffalo over the middle. I can see them win by at least a touchdown. And guess what? I'm taking the Bengals -2 at Philly. You know why that is? Because Philadelphia is still inconsistent. I don't trust the Philadelphia Eagles at home. I might say, hey, listen, I like the Philadelphia Eagles at home. They're not at home. I like Cincinnati at home, definitely. So I think that they'll win that track meet. I think Joe Burrow is a lot better passer than Jalen Hurts is, and I think that they will beat the Eagles. So those are my three picks coming up, and hopefully I can climb back. I'm like 8, 9, and 4. It's not like I'm out of it by any means. So I got to have a big week, couple big weeks to get back into it. So we'll see what happens. So, of course, we do have our upcoming where we break down every game, but there's also something else that we have too that we do every week, folks. And Jack has blessed us with his great knowledge.
I hate this segment, Mac, but I do it in my contract. Yeah. So.
I know you do. I mean, even when you're not right, Jack, you bring us so much history.
I fake it pretty well. I mean, I'm good at faking the answer, knowing when to get it wrong, but I save face usually, but not always.
You do. So let's do it right, Jack. Okay. So today, Jack, your trivia question is what NFL running back was known as the Nigerian Nightmare?
This is ridiculous because I'm having a brain fog. It's such an easy one. It's like kissing a dog.
Yes. Jack did mention this term on Sports Memories, and he used it for Akeem the Dream Olajuwon, which I didn't know they call him that, but I know for a fact that
I'm having a brain freeze, I swear.
Okay, that's okay, Jack. I mean,
it's ridiculous. James got the answer, I know, but I'm
yes, he probably does. So what we're going to do, folks, this is a tease. We wanted you to come back after the commercial, which won't take that long. So please stick with us as we do some of our commercials, and we'll be right back after these commercial answers with Jack's answer. National Streaming Sports is brought to you in part by BetUs.com, designed for true fans. NFL odds, Week 1 and futures, college football odds, including Heisman Trophy favorites and playoff odds, NBA odds of division winners and playoffs, Major League Baseball playoff and World Series odds, the National Hockey League Conference playoffs and Stanley Cup odds, and boxing wagers. Betting opportunities include versus the spreads and outright winners, also during the game. Use our link on our website, nessp.info, the Bet Us Opportunities webpage, for a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. Must be 21 years old, and remember, bet responsibly.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows, giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
Yo, you already know it's your boy LCF. I just tore it up for ZodiacTv. Shout out DJ Epps. Oh man, it was great, man. We did an interview. Then I hit the stage. The crowd was amazing. They gave me all their energy. I gave them that energy back. Linked up with some dope artists in the building. ZodiacTv, man. Hey, we gonna celebrate for the rest of the night, you know what I mean? With some Bel Air. Shout out my nigga Rose. Holla at your boy. I mean, boss shit, you already know. But we tore it up, man. Performance was amazing. The set was amazing. ZodiacTv, shout out y'all boys, man. Thank you for having me. You already know I'm gonna come back. Your boy finna come back. You know? Go to work. Did it all for nothing. Make sure y'all go get that single, available on all platforms. Let's go.
My girl just told me that she pregnant, we expecting the jit. So I had to buckle down, accelerate, no slowing down. Some people, that's why I don't come around.
Greg says you can jump out of the bandwagon.
Thank you, Craig. I am officially on and riding with you guys. Thank you.
Worst team in the NFL right now. Patriots, Panthers, Giants. I'm trying to think of any other ones there. The Titans.
What was the first team you said?
Patriots. Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
Go, Sonia, who is now betting on her team, is a Detroit Lion fan, and we'll see if she makes it in later on here. So, Jack, I presented the question to you, and I want to know now, after reflecting, after going in and just clearing your head, what NFL running back was known as a Nigerian?
Well, my head continued to be foggy. I mean, it kind of reminded me of the Honeymooner episode when Ralph was going $99,000 question. Norton would always play the piano. Remember that? And Ralph would get mad at him, but he was playing the Swanee River as a warm-up, And then when he got on the show, they started playing the music, and it's like he saw a ghost. The only thing I could think of, I mean, James knows the answer, so we'll defer to James in a moment. But was it a running back on the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, on the Chiefs. But the name for some crazy reason isn't coming into my head. So James, you go ahead. You tell us. I don't got the name.
Okay.
Christian Okoye.
There you go. Christian Okoye.
So
That is
got
the
team,
answer.
but I got the, yeah.
Yes, yes.
You were there.
Okoye wasn't coming to my head. Yeah.
Yes, yes. We always like to bring in our guests, right?
Philadelphia sports fans are a horde of inhuman monsters who deserve neither sympathy nor understanding.
I'm already beat him down. Sometimes I seem to do that to some people. I bring it every play of every game, all day.
There he is, and there he is. Holy cow! You just play the intro, and in comes Pags. And Pags, would you give Jack half a point? At least he got the team right. You want to give him half a point?
If you feel like giving it to him, but I do that right off. Like he should know that off the top of his head. Like if you knew Muhammad Ali's real name, that you should know. If the Nigerian Nightmare, you should know his name. It's right along that same line.
I agree with Pax. I shouldn't be giving credit. No. The name should have popped up. I was having a brain freeze, and I shouldn't get credit for that.
Well, if we give him half a point, if we give him half a point, it will give him a whole 1 point so far. That's the only reason why I'm jockeying for this.
Hey, whatever you feel is best, Mac.
All right. Thank you. And of course, Pags got a big game coming up with the Bengals. Should be a real tough game. I mean, you got a great offense, a great passing offense, a great running offense. I think it's going to be a really close game, Pags. I want to go over your picks with you, and you can give the reasons why you picked this. And I know I had at least a couple spreads screwed up that you brought up to my attention, which I'm glad you did, so I could adjust them. So you definitely have the Packers -4 going up today. What you think? You just think that Jordan Love is going to play a lot better than he has? I mean, he's played all right, but he does throw a lot of interceptions.
I just feel that when you look at those two teams, the Packers are just so much better. I mean, I think it's going to be a touchdown difference in that game, and the line kind of says that. Obviously, you get the 3 points before you have to worry about how they're going to change it up and do all that stuff. So I kind of believe that the Packers are going to roll over on them.
You got Miami. I mean, Tua's coming back. Finally, somebody to get the ball to them two fast receivers. They do got running backs who can catch the ball out of backfield too. Arizona's up and down. I mean, I don't even know how to think. Arizona's hard to pick. Let's put it that way. But it's in Miami, right? They got to come to the East Coast, which is going to mean something, I think, too. And you got Tua back. Even if he's a little rusty in the beginning, I would imagine he'll get the flow backpacks.
Not only that, their offense is mostly healthy. So, and I think Mostert is going to be the one that actually does most of the damage here today. I think that they're going to ease Tua back into this. They're going to, they understand that he doesn't have many more lives here, and that they're going to protect him. I'd be willing to bet that they're going to probably do max protect most of the day, and that they're going to be said that I expect to be Tyreek Hill to be a big decoy today. Just run deep and then give it to Mostert, and it's like a lot of screen passes to him and just handing the ball off to him. So, and I think that's how they're going to do it. I just still think Arizona played really well last week, and that means this week they stink.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes as much sense as anything I've heard so far. So you got Philadelphia with your team. +2 at Cincinnati, going into Cincinnati, Pags. As I said, I think right now Burrows is a better passing quarterback than Jalen Hurts at this point in time. But I think you guys got the better running game. Yeah, I mean, Mixon was a bad thing for them to get rid of anyway. And if they had him there, maybe they would have been more balanced. But it's going to be a good game, that's for sure.
So I think that this is going to be all up to the defenses on both teams. I think that the offenses are comparable. They've got two fantastic wide receivers over there. They obviously got rid of Mixon, but their running game isn't so bad because the passing game sets it up some. Their offensive line is really depleted. So I kind of think that they're going to get pressure, and I expect that the pressure is going to come right up the middle, which is where Burrows does not like that pressure. And I think that, there's been some light made of the fact that the Eagles have never won in Cincinnati. But I have never been to Cincinnati either. So I think that this is all trends end today, and we take a W.
Well, maybe they'll even let you keep your shoulder pads for this game, Pags. We don't know.
Higgins is questionable for Cincinnati, isn't he? He might not be playing.
Who's that?
Who is?
Higgins.
Yeah, he had something happen. With was it a hamstring or something earlier this week at practice, which would be a shame. Obviously, I mean, he is a great talent, but him not being there, I think this is going to be the day where Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean actually, welcome themselves to the NFL here, and you're going to see a couple of picks happen. Because these guys are really good, and they're going to attack them. Everybody's been staying away from Slay's side of the field, which makes me think that it's going to be a lot on Quinyon. They're going after the rookie, and the rookie has been able to – I mean, right now, you could almost put him in the argument for defensive rookie of the year. He's been playing that well. Has had 3 chances of interceptions. Held Mike Evans when he was covering him to 0 catches. So they're going to put the number 1 guy on him, and he's been up to the challenge.
Is it my imagination, Pag? So
all right, Pag.
Jalen Hurts, he's just not happy this season. Something is missing. The enthusiasm level. He's doing his job. He's like the guy who shows up to work because it's his job. He does his job. He's maybe not complaining, but the enthusiasm level just doesn't seem to be there between him and his teammates. I mean, that's just the way it seems to me on the surface.
I think that this is one of those times where Barkley came in and it became his team. And everybody keeps talking about that. Well, everybody looks at Jalen to be the one who's going to lead them to all that he's supposed to be that vocal leader. I don't think that he's that guy. I think Barkley has taken over that role, and what you're seeing is everybody deferring more to Barkley than to him. And especially now, again, we have a new offensive coordinator. It's his 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. It's actually his 4th in 4 years. And it's a matter of, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And they've got a job to do as a team, and they're letting everybody fit the role that they're supposed to fit. He's supposed to make sure that the passes are out there. He's still delivering passes at 67%. He's got 2 of the best receivers, one of the best tandems in the league. Interestingly enough, we're going up against another one of the best tandems in the league. And I feel that it's only going to be a matter of time. I like the fact that we haven't played our best game yet, because that means we're only still growing, and I want to play my best game of the year in February. That's where I want it to culminate. I don't need to play my best game of the year right now. But against the Giants, you saw them really, really spank the Giants. I mean, it was one of those things, and I have been saying for years, specifically on this show, that the Eagles season begins when they play the Giants. And we had a great game last week. I think we only build off of that and just keep moving forward here.
It's very interesting. I've been saying what you've been saying, Pags, since Barkley got there. Barkley's a rah-rah guy. Hurts is not. Hurts has never been a rah-rah guy. But I did see Hurts last game go with Barkley, get excited with Barkley. It's infectious, right? I mean, even though Hurts is kind of a little off to the side, out the underspoken, but I saw him get excited on the sidelines with Barkley last week. And even in an interview, Hurts was there smiling with him. I think what Barkley does is even take the guys that are kind of laid back, and he brings them up to where he's at. Let's have fun. Let the rest of the guys get in there and eat. I mean, he just wants everyone to feel that infectious winning attitude.
Well, and I kind of feel the exact same way. I feel that. Sorry, my car alarm was going off because I'm sitting in it. I feel that. Yeah, I feel that it's. You're right. It is infectious, but it's also he has been everything that he was for the Giants plus, and everybody is rallying